was obscene, you know, and so that was it. They've had, I mean, some of the offers, it's obscene. Across the street, Roz's sister lived there, Bill. So part of my role has been, I have gone around to the neighbors. I want to find, so asking them, what issues are you having? What problems? You having any kind of health issues that you didn't before? And so Bill, one of their things is they take the foster kids, right? Oh, their kids are, you know, they get crabby, they have headaches, okay? All right, here's what you can expect. Anxiety, aggravation. There was one. So shortly after the project went online, there was one day I was like, what's happening? Am I having a heart attack or something like that? I didn't know. I never read about what's the symptoms of wind turbines. And it's like, I didn't know what was going on. So later on, I was like, find out, there's another one that Jimmy, some of the neighbors, okay? George Burns, the deaf guy, legally deaf, bugged the hell out of him. George took the money. He took the money. And later on, so we went and talked to George. He says, well, I can't say anything because of the contract. But he said, you know what, Larry? I regret taking the money because it is no compensation. One of the, what do you call them, lesser? So any people, are you gonna lease, anybody gonna lease money, land to? So Gregory was one of the families who leased a lot of land to Iberdrola. My neighbor works with the guy. And so what Gregory told my neighbor is that, I'm sorry I ever took the money, because they're very close too. So Gregory's, these folks, 2,000, Mike Fernandes, 3,000, his dream home, him and his wife lived there for 30 years. This is where they thought they were going to retire to. His wife wants to move out. Tinnitus, ringing in the ears, I have it, right? There is no silence wherever I go. A funny little thing. Anxiety is the new norm. Every day I wake up in a state of it. It's like you're going to be afraid, but it's not full blown out. Every day of my life, almost now, except for when I go away from the house. You know what? This morning was the first time in months that I didn't wake up in a state of anxiety. Hallelujah! Every day is a gift, but you know, sometimes it's lesser than a gift. But so here's the test. I thought, oh, I've been told you're crazy. You're looking for attention, okay? All these things. But what it is, I went up to Maine. We went on a trip. We got up there, the anxiety, all these things. I now have high blood pressure, no family history, never had any problem. Lois, high blood pressure, no family history. We both have sinus problems, okay? The anxiety, so one of the things I had earlier in the year, I had this panic attack. I was out in the woods, and all of a sudden, totally overwhelmed. I mean, totally. I laid down on the ground. So am I having a heart attack? Is this a stroke? I laid down, and I got a little handle on it. I started concentrating on my breathing. I felt a little better. I was dehydrated. I went to the stream, away from the watershed and I felt a little better, and then it overwhelmed me again, and so I went back to the house. I saw Lois. I felt better. I went into the house, laid down in bed. She came over, and she's like, Larry, what's the matter? She could feel my heart pounding, and so I can tell you, I have a fear of doctors. Paranoid, okay? Paranoid. Hate the thought of a needle. And I said, take me to the hospital. She was shocked. For me to say, take me to the hospital, was pretty, I went there, diagnosed as acute anxiety disorder. They gave me some pills. I've taken, I said, I don't want to live on pills, okay? And so I deal with it. I accept that the new normal is to wake up every day. Lately, it's come to a head in terms of, usually it's, no matter how tired, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be in that state of anxiety. The only solution is for me to get up and get involved with things so I'm not concentrating on that anxiety. of late, it's gotten more intense, that instead of it being short periods of time, the last couple weeks, it's been like more often than not during the day while I'm away. And like I said, this morning, no anxiety. It's just a coincidence. Sorry. This couple, they built their dream house, and it's super insulated, and the problem is the infrasound and low frequencies go in there, so this fella, out of desperation, called up. He got arrested for domestic terrorism because he said, I feel like going down there and shooting myself. And so the state police showed up and arrested him for domestic terrorism. He paid much. He didn't end up doing any jail time, but he said, okay, be a good boy and give us a lot of money and you'll all be okay. The golf course, they reached out to me and said, oh, we have a problem. But he was fearful. He didn't want to go on record as saying it's a problem, because if he goes on record, he's going to lose business, right? And people, they're aware of it. Okay, here we got the lawyers. So Hardscrabble, New York is another Iberdrola project. A number of neighbors got together and they hired these people, Melody, and I forget the lawyers. And so we reached out to them. They came there, and so they told us. We asked them, how many people do you need to sign up for a lawsuit where you will represent us? They said 30. When they left, they had 27 names as who would, and then during the following week or so follow-up, I had the 3 others. So I forwarded the information. I keep talking with the lawyers. What's going on? What's going on? Finally, they talked to me. They said, well, we need 50, not 30. And the thing about it, we're rural. There's not like 50 people that are impacted because we're so sparsely So they went for bigger fish. There was another community in Vermont that they went to represent. And there were 60 of those people. So see you later, lawyers. And you know what? I didn't like the idea because what they wanted was money. Blood money, I'll tell you. Blood money, that's what it is. The thing is, what I want is, I've always said, you know what I want? I want Hoosac Wind to comply to the existing regulations. Noise pollution, we have regulations. And don't enforce it. That's what I want. In my heart of hearts, I want those things to disappear. I want it back to the way it is. I know it never will be. That's the thing, is once you have the genie out of the bottle, there will always be those fines. They'll never, and when they walk, when those people walk, they are not going to take any of this stuff. And I'll tell you, they have money for escrow. You think I'm excited? You feel it? I'm excited. Right? I'm angry. I'm angry about this stuff. It's the lies. They, $500,000 they'll have for the whole project. What?
Larry, I'm feeling your passion. I really like this, but can we take a little intermission?
Sure.
And then just get back to some more of it, because I need to take a break.
Okay.
Is that cool, or I don't know if you mean to interrupt people, but I'm feeling your passion, I'm digging it too. I don't know how much longer you got to go.
I don't think that, so, hang in here with me.
Okay.
All right? Hang in with me, so, all right, don't worry.
No, I apologize for interrupting. I just didn't know how far you had to go.
It's that Portuguese bed. Blood, we're
Right on, now I feel the passion.
It's that time too. Oh, man. Good. Okay, so yeah, I'll try. So, the dead bats. The dead bats. One day I went up there not looking for bats. I found 4 of them, just right around all the turbine. Okay? So, the thing is, in Massachusetts, the little brown bats are in danger. The white nose syndrome has played havoc with them. So it's only a bat. Most people they're grossed out by bats. They're wonderful things. They eat so many bugs. We used to have little brown bats. They used to roost in our little brown. We have a couple of brown bats now. The bats, they're gone. And so the reality is, what happened? The bugs are attracted to these. So in our case, the forests are gone. The heat attracts the bugs. the bugs attract the bats, and the thing is, they don't get whacked by the blades, so come to find out, what happens is their little lungs, it's kind of like the bends, and so their lungs explode, okay, from the air pressure changes from these big blades, and what they do to the airways, and so that's how they die, not by getting whacked upside the head, they die from their lungs bursting. Horrible death. And this is what I thought about when this little guy. Oh, it's only bat. I like the bats. I think they're good, right? But that's it. They do. They kill birds. They kill bats. Ice. They don't run them when there's icing conditions. That crater is at least 5 foot long by 3 feet wide. Okay? And I have seen some of these chunks 1,000 feet away from the turbine. Okay? And that's not searching for them. Okay? That's just like, whoa. And I can tell you, I've been up there when little pieces of this stuff are coming off. Scary. Okay? Some of this stuff, and it's worse than that. It's like the blades come off. So here we are. Here's a little tidbit for you. The carbon fiber, so there are carbon fibers in the blades, okay? There is not the technology at this point, they don't recycle them, they can't recycle them. So they shred them up and they bury them in the ground. So how's that for green for you? Recycling? There's already been 2 different turbines that have had blades replaced up there. Okay, every one of those turbines leaks stuff. How's that green for you? Every one. Hydraulic fluid. I've sent countless pictures to Mass DEP. They never respond to me about that. They wash them off, and it comes back on. Oh, that's really clean. Wash the. Okay, here we are, the final one. Tim and Nancy. So you see that house behind them? They bought that. It was valued at $124,000 5 years ago. They bought this house. Killer views from here. We have Mount Greylock is the highest mountain in Massachusetts. They got these beautiful views of the Rat Valley from their house. So right away, when Hoosac went online, they had all these health issues. They couldn't live in their house. They left. They thought it was going to be for just a short term. They abandoned their house. And they even went, so they moved, they had another house 10 miles away. They moved way up in northern Vermont. They left. And I kept saying, well, Tim, you got to draw the line somewhere. He says, I want to be happy. So they were fortunate. They got away. A lot of my neighbors do not have that luxury. We're stuck. In my particular case, home. My attitude is, they can take me out feet first in the box. That's where I'm, that's the last stop. No matter, even with who's at home. And I said, people tell me, well, why don't you leave, Larry? And it's like, well, what's going to stop that from happening? And so, right here, I'm stopping right here. This is, if I don't fight it right here, then what do I have? Personally, I don't have anything, because I feel that somebody has to. And I keep looking around, and it's like, okay, keep my head down, so I leave you with these words. It's not what you are going to see. If I were Joel, the neighbors from hell move into your neighborhood, it's not what you see, it's not what you hear, but what you feel in a physical and an emotional way. And you probably already see, dividing your communities within family, friends. Lois and I, sometimes we're at each other's throat. Now, of course, people that share their lives together, of course there's conflict. But there are sometimes, there's not even a molehill. And we are at each other, and it's part of the symptoms. Okay? So, high blood pressure. I'm fortunate, I'm managing it when I eat garlic every day, raw garlic. And it dilates the circuit, and that's how I feel, because it was. So I went from it, I never had any problem. In fact, only found out that I had a problem when Lois had a situation, and just for a joke, I measured mine. Mine was up there, it was 190 over 110. I told you about that panic attack? 212 over 110. Good thing I got a good ticker, you know? And so now I'm down, usually I'm in like the 130s over maybe in the mid-70s, which, you know, is not bad, but it's what you feel. So my advice to you, don't let them into your neighborhood, because they do not, their God is money. It's the only thing they care about. They don't care about any of it. They don't care about your land. They don't care about any one of you. And they will, I mean, I'm telling you, they have lied straight face right to me. So the last thing with Neil Habib. So, okay, he said to me, you know, he says, you know, you people that complain about our projects, he says, you know, I wonder, what do you drive and how do you heat your house? And I said, whoa, you shouldn't have asked me that. And I said, number one is that because I'm complaining about noise and whatnot from your project, how I live has nothing to do with it. So that's number one. I said, number two, I have a 1985 Mercedes-Benz turbo wagon that I bought, and it loves biodiesel. And that's the truth of it. That's why I bought it, because I feel responsible. So one of my aspirations, I hope I leave this earth, maybe